Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ and Friends. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and my friend today is my friend. I know him as Tommy Balsamic. He is the CEO of the best vinegar I've ever had, California Balsamic. But before I introduce him to the show, where he'll be making 9 amazingly delicious SOS-free recipes featuring California balsamic vinegar, I'd like to ask everyone in the plant-based community to please take a moment of silence to honor our dear friend and colleague, Dr. Baxter Montgomery, who passed away peacefully on Saturday with friends and family present. I do not know the cause of death, so please don't ask me. It's not like I have any insider secrets. I just know that he was surrounded by loved ones. Dr. Baxter Montgomery was a wonderful plant-based cardiologist based in Houston, and I met him in 2010 when he received the Benjamin Spock Award for Compassion in Medicine. Shortly after that, I contacted him and asked him to speak at one of my conferences, and we became friends ever since. And while I'm sure many of his patients and other people will remember him for his contribution to the plant-based world and his dedication to his patients, what I remember most about him is his amazing laugh and his sense of humor and the stories he would tell. I remember one time when he was on the show with Dr. Columbus Batiste, I had mentioned to them that they both had unusual first names, Columbus and Baxter, and that I had never met anybody with those names, Columbus and Baxter. They each told the story of how they got their names. And Dr. Montgomery, and you should watch this video. He has just the most robust and hearty laugh. He was just such a warm, kind, gentle person. He actually invited me to come to his clinic for free when he found out that I was diagnosed with lung cancer. But anyway, so he was telling the story, and he said that his mother, who was in labor, had called the father saying, it's about time, and that he wanted to name the baby. I don't honestly remember the name. I'd have to look to the video. And the father said, name him Baxter or don't bring him home. And that's how he got the name Baxter. May you rest in peace. We send our deepest condolences to his friends and family and colleagues, and we will miss you. All righty then. So sorry about that, Thomas, but I just don't know when else I could have, done a little tribute to him. So welcome, Tommy, my friend, Tommy Balsamic, the Vinegar Man, the CEO of Vinegar.
Jeff, it's always a pleasure to chat with you.
Oh yeah, I
And
miss you. I miss you because you used to have a regular slot the first Tuesday of second Tuesday of every month on the show with Nick DeVoren.
and I've only chatted with Nick once or twice now in the last several months, and so I hope that he's doing well with his wife Evelyn. They want to just do some serious traveling as they're looking to retire sometime soon. So, a shout out for Nick and all of his wonderful products.
Well, he came to my potluck recently. You didn't, you were busy. So I saw him and Evelyn and I called them because I was in Nevada City last week for the first time, which was so much fun. And they live near there. And they said they're going camping or glamping. So yeah, they're going to be doing some travel.
Oh, good for him. He deserves it because he's been such a wonderful friend for many years now, ever since I met him when you were doing one of your presentations at a church in Sacramento, at least pre-COVID, 5 or 6 years ago. And he and I just set up our booths next to each other and been friends ever since.
That's
So.
right. It was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. And you are both going to be in person in Las Vegas at the plant powered party that I have the privilege of hosting for the Remedy Food Project, the Labor Day weekend, August 29th, 30th, and 31st at the Tuscany Resort. It's very un-Vegas like. It's at a resort with palm trees off the strip, fabulous speakers like Dr. Neil Barnard and Dr. Will Bolshewitz. I mean, it's going to be amazing. And you'll have your booths there. So people that haven't maybe tried your product can taste all the flavors. They can taste Nick's spices. So get your tickets now before the price goes up. It's lucky 777.
And we're crazy excited because we went to your last event a few years ago and had a absolutely wonderful time staying in the resort with everybody. And you're just constantly seeing everybody going to the meetings and then popping into the vendor area and trying all the flavors. And it's just a madhouse every time that happens, which is a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of flavors, it's funny. I've tried every flavor, but whenever I see you, I still try them. It's like maybe I'll discover something new, or like when you're at the Harvest Festival. But in case maybe this is the first time somebody's seeing you or me, I'll show my personal favorite flavors. I'd have to bring like this huge bucket out to show you all the bottles I have, probably 40. But I say the one that we use the most is the seven herb Italian because I inspired this in that I said, look, my husband is using the vinegar of another company because he needs something that tastes like Italian dressing. And then Tommy made this one, and Charles loves it. And we buy this one pretty much by bulk. And actually, my friend Rebecca just bought like 8 bottles. This is so good. This is better than Seven Seas, and it's just the best Italian dressing. You just use it straight up. So that's good. I just really love Gilroy garlic. I know it started with our love affair started with teriyaki. That's how I met you because this is just like SOS-free teriyaki sauce. But then I've become a big fan of the Gilroy garlic as well. One of my favorites is the smoked hickory. And what I do with this is I mix it with tomato paste and I make the best barbecue sauce, literally the best barbecue sauce. And here's a new flavor that I use, and you're going to make the recipe, the mangorita, orange mango passion fruit. This one is brand new to me. But if you're unsure, they have the cutest little bottles, and you can get these. Well, he'll tell you what the deals are, but what's really cute about these bottles is they go through TSA. Like they won't take them away. These are perfect. And then when you empty them from vinegar, you can refill them with the big bottle or just use them for your shampoo and stuff for TSA. And Mona's saying she loves the seven herb on pasta. Yes, it does make a great pasta salad. And Nancy's saying happy Memorial Day and she loves California balsamic. I wish she'd come to Vegas. But tell me, when I was recently placing my order, I never saw this flavor and I bought it and I really like it. Now tell me about it. You have like this secret line. Does this look familiar to you? Garlic white balsamic. I never saw this one before.
So now the garlic white balsamic and the 18-year-old classic, that's from the Très Classique line of flavors. And of course, when I took over the business 29 years ago, the business just celebrated its 40th anniversary. I'm feeling ancient as we speak. And the I took it over 29 years ago from a woman named Carolyn Bacon, and we decided to try some balsamic vinegars and oils just to see how that would work out. And the balsamic vinegar is 6% acidity, so it's significantly more tart. And the white balsamic is, I feel, even more tart than that. And we just, of course, added the fresh garlic to it, which always worked out beautifully. The Gilroy garlic has garlic that's been turned into a puree. So we just put it into the Cuisinart, blend it, and it's beautiful because it has just the garlic puree in it. But the garlic white balsamic, we actually juiced the garlic and then put the garlic juice into the white balsamic vinegar and blended it. And it's,
I
garlic white
actually,
balsamic.
it's really funny because the longer I'm away from sugar, the less of a sweet tooth I have. And I really like this. I haven't used it yet, but I tasted it and I liked it a lot.
Mhm. For the people who like tart, it's wonderful. But we found that about 35% of the general public wants tart and not too sweet. The other two-thirds, they want thick, rich, and sweet. So we found that when we switched over from the Très Classique balsamic vinegar to the California balsamic blend base, we found that the vast majority of people liked it significantly better. So we were very happy. But we can still get a little bit of the original white and dark Très Classique balsamic from the supplier and make a couple of our flavors that people still like from there. So we kind of cover all the bases by having a more tart and a more sweet.
And this one would be Dr. Goldhammer True North approved, right?
Almost. Dr. Goldhammer, he generally wants the flavors to be in the 10 to 15 calories a tablespoon. Well, the Très Classique one is 20, so it's just out of his comfort range, but much better than the California balsamic that he calls soda pop, and he won't use that. But thank goodness Mrs. Goldhammer likes it, so
That's right. Well,
we make sure
speaking
to
of
give it to
soda
her.
pop, in a way, he's right. It is soda pop vinegar because you can take flavors like lemon or peach, put it in club soda, and then you actually have a healthy soda pop without sugar and with far fewer calories.
And chef, that is recipe number one for today. And today I like to think of this more as a general review of some of our favorite easy recipes to do because we're going to do 9 recipes today, but many of them are just like you said, a little bit of soda and whatever flavor you want. We're going to do 2 different glasses to show you what a white balsamic looks like and what a dark balsamic looks like in the soda water because the dark one obviously changes the color quite a bit and the white one doesn't change it at all.
Right.
So,
But
but
the dark, then people would think it's more like Coke or something. And Mona would like to know, do you have Très Classique in plain balsamic, just plain?
just plain. That's the 18-year-old classic. Now, I have to admit that the classic balsamic is truly not really 18 years old. The manager of the company said it's equivalent to 18 years old. And I said, but that doesn't mean it's really 18 years. 18 years old aging process is a very, very long time. And that a price, if you were to go to Modena, Italy, and get an 18 to 20-year-old balsamic, you would spend a small fortune. A bottle this size could easily be $40, a little 5-ounce bottle. And the balsamic is plain, good quality. It tastes good, but it's just more tart and not quite as sweet as the California balsamic is. So that's the 18-year-old classic that's available on the Trade Classique page for that one. So.
Great. So 9 recipes, not 10, but 9. And what are you going to make first?
So the first one, what you just mentioned, because it's really coming into summer, is the soda water. This is just about a 1 can of soda water is 12 ounces. So this is about 6 ounces of a plain soda water. And what we're going to do today is, just because it's now coming into strawberry season, Ethel and I often would use the peach, but today we're going to use the strawberry blonde balsamic, and we're just going to do a tablespoon of that. Chef, when I was at your house several years ago, we experimented with this with the peach balsamic, and we felt that anywhere between a tablespoon, tablespoon and a half was nice for a 5-ounce glass of soda. And so this is going to be a full tablespoon of that. Now, as you can see, or as you cannot see right now, the balsamic clear, the white balsamic is in there, but it's down here on the bottom of the bottle, bottom of the glass. And so you have to give it a very gentle stir so not to mess up all the nice bubbles. But it just takes 4 or 5 seconds to get that incorporated and completely blended. And voila, you now have a strawberry soda.
Yummy. And like you
Oh,
say, for a lot of people, 1 tablespoon is going to be enough. Some going to need
mhm.
1.5. Some are going to need 2. It also depends how much club soda you have in your glass, you know?
True, true. So a half a can, 6 ounces, a tablespoon gives it absolute flavor. You can put an extra half a tablespoon in there if you want to make it a little stronger still. But now here's the one that I'm really curious about. This is the little bit of our wild huckleberry balsamic. And this is little Brinley, who's still living with us. This is the flavor that she will put on anything. If she's going to have anything balsamic wise on her food, it's going to be the wild huckleberry. So this is about ballpark a tablespoon. So I'm going to pour the rest of this little bottle in. And you can see it goes right to the bottom. And here we are. Now a nice gentle stir. And you can see this is a little bit thicker, so it takes a little bit more to get it all completely blended. I can't wait to try this because this is the first time I've ever done huckleberry in one of these. And like you said, it absolutely is turned, into a dark soda. And
I bet it's good.
oh, that is good. It's so easy to do. And it's so refreshing and light and satisfying. You're not jonesing for to have something that's crazy sweet. There's so many calories. The dark balsamics all have 36 calories a tablespoon, and all the white balsamics, no matter what's in them, have 30 calories a tablespoon.
That's interesting.
So
Why? Because is white balsamic from green grapes and dark balsamic from purple grapes?
It is. The Trebbiano are the dark red grapes, and then the Spergola are the green grapes. And just like making red wine and white wine, the dark red grapes are left in the vat during the aging process for red wine to make it red. And during for balsamic vinegar, you put in hundreds of gallons of fresh grape juice, and then you put the dark red skins in that vat while it's boiling for 8 to 10 hours. And the boiling process, the dark skins simply turn the liquid black. And the green skins are removed from the vat, and just the clear white juice is in there. And the aging process, and of course, you remove all the alcohol out of there, and you have a white balsamic. So that's it.
Okay, we got a few questions in the chat. So let's get to them. So we have a question from Gunther. What is the name of the club soda you're using?
Oh, this was just a plain generic club soda. We
And
just had
great,
maybe it was the Schweppes or um, I'm not sure, but it was just a plain soda.
right. And Renee says,
Yeah,
can you use seltzer water? Sure.
sure, of course. Yeah.
And Linda says, what does drinking balsamic and water do to the enamel of your teeth? I don't know. Dr. Greger loves the balsamic and recommends we have it every day, but I'll see if Thomas knows the answer.
I'm not sure. Honestly, I don't know about that, but I know people have been it's been recommended for a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar on a daily basis, and that's straight. This is diluted. So this would be nowhere near as strong on the enamel. So I cannot give a definitive answer on that. I honestly don't know, but I gotta believe soda water and balsamic vinegar is not harmful at all. It'd be my guess.
Nice. Thank you. As you will.
Yep. So, all right. Well, Swender, those are our soda waters, and uh, and now next one we're going to do is one of yours, Chef. This is the mangorita, and
Mango Rita. I love the
be,
mango Rita.
I just got a big kick, and but I will tell you, Chef, Ethel and I are just we can't put cilantro. The recipe calls for it. We just can't do it if we're going to have it ourselves. I just don't have the gene in my DNA that makes me like cilantro, and it's just not going to happen on my watch. So I apologize for not putting that there. That's of course optional to put that in. And interesting that you mentioned about the mango orange passion fruit balsamic vinegar. That's exactly what we used in this one as well, just for a little balsamic kick to it. So um, the margarita. No, Chef, where did this recipe come from?
I mean, I made it up. I don't remember during. I did. I have a private membership. I have a private community now, and I did it in there. I don't remember, to be honest.
So you just whipped it up one day, and just
Whipped it
because
up.
you,
I'm trying to remember because it was something about like there was some people were saying, well, can you have a margarita? And I'm like, well, I don't do alcohol. See if I can do.
right?
Oh no, I remember now. It was when Lissa was here a year ago, and we went to Zest, our favorite restaurant, which unfortunately closed. And she has something called the Cactus Cooler that we absolutely loved. But she used agave, and I didn't want agave, and I just kind of tweaked it at home. That's where it came from. I
Now
bet you
that
could
makes
use your
sense.
you could probably use your jalapeno vinegar in there instead of the
Oh
jalapeno.
yes, yeah, and
Yeah.
we use fresh, but you're right, exactly right. Because we were going to, like we said, we were going to use the mango orange passion, our newest flavor. We've only had that on our website for about 3 or 4 months now, so it's by far our newest flavor. So the chef's mangorita, 2 cups of water. 2 cups of apple juice, the unsweetened kind, a quarter cup of lime juice, a bunch of cilantro leaves, 1 cup nice and packed, 1/2 to 1 seeded jalapeno, depending on how much kick you want, and a cup of frozen mango, and 2 tablespoons of my version, of course, is the mango orange passion balsamic in there. So what we did was we had this blended up over here, and we just blended it up earlier. and said, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There you be. And that is just absolutely looks wonderful. And best of all, it tastes good.
So did you put the jalapeno in it? Because you're not putting the
Mhm.
cilantro in.
Right. We did the spice out there. We just put a little bit in. We're spice wimps. So
Yeah.
we just put a little quarter jalapeno, not a half or a whole. We just put a little bit in, and I can absolutely taste it. And a little bit of the vinegar gives it a little bit more of the tartness as well to that. So it just adds on to absolutely refreshing as can be. So, Chef, you've got another winner here, but you make winners up all the time. So congratulations. So good, good, good. Okay, there's recipe number two. All right. Number three is we've got a mixed berry rice salad. Now, this is coming from Brenda Patchell, and we did this on her show a couple years on your show a couple years ago. And it's simply a blend of a third of a cup of coconut milk, uh, and similar like a Thai kitchen brand or something similar to that. 3 tablespoons of mixed berry jam, the fruit juice is unsweetened. 2 tablespoons of blackberry balsamic, eighth of a teaspoon of vanilla powder, 4 to 6 drops of liquid stevia are optional. She used 2 cups of cooked rice, jasmine, a cup of fresh blueberries, 3/4 of a cup of fresh strawberries made into bite-sized pieces, 3/4 cup of frozen cherries thawed and quartered, 2 bananas, a half-inch thick slice and quartered, and then chopped walnuts or hemp seeds for garnish. So what she did was, in a small bowl, she added the coconut milk, blackberry balsamic, mixed berry jam, vanilla powder, and stevia, and stirred all that in, making the sauce. And in a large bowl, the rice, blueberries, strawberries, cherries, and the sauce, stir until everything is coated, and then gently stir in the banana chunks and serve garnished with the walnuts. And she was saying, notes, it's best to add the bananas and sauce to the rice just before serving. This is to keep the rice from soaking up too much of the sauce, making the salad drier, and to keep the bananas from getting brown and mushy. And here is the end result. This is an absolute delicious fruit salad, rice salad, because when the girls come in this afternoon, we're going to have this waiting for them. Turns out the girls, the little Brinley and her older sister Desiree, who live with us, have gone down out of town to see grandparents in Lake Isabella outside of Bakersfield for the weekend. So we have been childless for 3 days, which makes this house feel very empty without a 7 and 14-year-old running around. So we'll be happy to get them back later this afternoon, and they will absolutely enjoy this rice salad
It
with
looks
fresh fruit in.
delicious.
It is good. When we made that one before, this is one often these are some of our favorite recipes. So we said, oh, let's make this one because we knew we liked it before and we'll have it again. So we make things that are tried and true. We know this one's a good one. So that's that. If there are any more questions, shout out. Easy as squeezy.
Just put them in the chat.
Thank you very much. Now, the next one is something that I got in trouble for because when we were making it, I almost ate it all before the program happened. The broadcast was going on, and we only had a small bowl. This is the Gilroy garlic tofu that was done by Susan Varick several years ago. And what she did was she took the tofu ingredients, a block of extra firm tofu pressed and cubed, optional soy sauce, sodium-free soy sauce, or liquid aminos, a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of arrowroot or cornstarch, and a little bit of pepper. That's for the tofu. And now the Gilroy garlic tahini dipping sauce is 2 tablespoons of Gilroy garlic, a tablespoon of either maple syrup or agave, a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, 2 tablespoons of tahini paste, a tablespoon of water, and a little bit more black pepper. So all you're doing is add the tofu to a bowl and toss with the remaining tofu ingredients until they're fully coated, adding the arrowroot powder a half a tablespoon at a time. And then you put the tofu into the air fryer in an even layer, air frying at 400 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes. And halfway through, turn them over a little bit so the undersides will get browned up halfway through. And then make your garlic tahini sauce by mixing together all the ingredients until they're smooth. And then you're going to serve the tofu with the garlic tahini sauce for dipping. And that is the way. Now, one other thing she said, coat the tofu with the garlic sauce and serve them on a plate of basmati rice and steamed broccoli, which sounds wonderful. And the goodies. Sorry. Oh, okay. So Ethel has already pulled out the tofu. We've already cooked it all and gave it the stir halfway through. And then here is the tahini, the sauce with the garlic balsamic. And here are the little pieces of tofu, which is just an absolute great dip. When we made these a few years ago, I tried it and I went, oh, these are killer. And I started munching on them before the broadcast. And there we had a great big tray of them. And then we had a nice little itty bitty tray of them. So that's something that I absolutely adored. And you can put even these little pieces into a salad just to have some tofu in your salad just for extra flavor. Because they go on with so many things. And I love the idea of putting this on a bed of basmati rice with other veggies and broccoli and whatnot. So this is a recipe from, again, Susan Varick. Susan has sent us dozens of recipes that we have on our website. And if you go to California Balsamic and just simply click on the recipe page, you'll find the Gilroy garlic tofu recipe on there. Just type in tofu and that recipe will pop right up and you can print it off. So super easy. Thank
Yeah,
you again,
there was a
Susan.
question in general from Beth. Where can they get the recipes and are they printable?
Yes, the recipes are printable. The recipes are printable on our website. And we're using we've got a brand new website since you and I have chatted on our broadcast. We have a brand new website. So it's much easier to use, easier to check out. And whenever you do check out, there's a little button that says choose your 2 free samples. And you hit that, and all the flavors pop up into a drop down box. And you just hit one and hit another one. And those are your 2 freebies. And thank you very much. So it's really much more convenient. There's very little going into the order notes box. You can do that. Some people who've been, buying from us for years, they're still writing their order notes, what they want for their freebies, which is always fine. We'll happy to do that. But you can order and put it right on the order itself. And that way you know that it's on there. So both ways work.
Okay. Question from Spooks Lotus watching live on Instagram. Hello. Is there sugar in the balsamic?
There is no processed sugar, granulated white sugar, absolutely not. All the sweetness from from our balsamic vinegars, all come from the grape juice that's in them. And ours are a little bit thicker, richer, and sweeter than than anything you buy at a supermarket. And one of the main reasons for that is the balsamic vinegar is grape juice. It's boiled down, it's put into the wood barrels, it starts the aging process. And after 8 or 9 years, the balsamic vinegar is still on the tart side and not too terribly sweet. So to speed that up, balsamic vinegar always has something called the grape must. Grape must is simply fresh grape juice that's boiled way down. You can have grape must that's boiled down by 20%, which is not that's not very much boiled down. But when you boil it down 50%, 60, 70% reduction, Now that is super thick and rich grape juice. You add that to the balsamic vinegar that is aging, and now the balsamic is significantly thicker, richer, and sweeter, as if it were a 15, 18, 20-year-old balsamic, but without the aging process. So that's why ours is thicker, richer, and sweeter. It's a good quality grape must.
Great. There is real garlic in the vinegar, not just garlic powder, correct?
Oh, we don't use any garlic powder. This is all fresh garlic that we either, well, for all of the Gilroy garlic has about not quite 2 pounds of fresh garlic put into the Cuisinart, turned into a paste or a puree, and then poured into a 4-gallon bucket of balsamic vinegar, stir it up really well, bottle it immediately, and it's ready to go. And we use the Gilroy garlic balsamic to make our sweet heat, to make the teriyaki balsamic, and the blazon vinaigrette, the blazon balsamic, the hottest one we have. They're all made with the Gilroy garlic.
Cool.
So, yeah, that the Gilroy garlic is truly one of the most important flavors we have because we make so many things with it. And it's just plain old delicious. Fresh is best, and that's what it is. Now, the next recipe, something that you just mentioned a little while ago, was one that we talk about all the time, and that's your tomato paste with the smoked hickory. Now, how did you come up with this one, Chef?
I honestly don't remember. Oh, wait a minute. I think I do remember. So I don't really love ketchup, but we have
Mhm.
sugar-free ketchup in the house. And so I thought, oh, maybe if I put some of this in it, it will taste more like barbecue sauce. And it did. And then I thought, well, hey, it's a lot cheaper to just buy tomato paste than it is to buy ketchup.
True, true, true. And so this is a small can of the tomato paste, and I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of the smoked hickory balsamic in there and give it a good stir. I put a little bit of water into the paste just to thin it out just a little bit, and uh, and then easy squeezy. You can use this for now. What we did the other day or yesterday when we were making something, we had some sweet potatoes, and we just put the potatoes in the refrigerator. And this morning, made up a couple of wedges of sweet potatoes that we'll dip into our sauce here. And this is something that we've been telling customers about at our festivals and farmers markets for years and years because it's such a classic, fun, easy recipe for that. So smoked hickory, has liquid smoke in it, and it does taste like barbecue sauce. And so you can use this to put over vegetables, especially making a vegetable stir fry with this is just silly easy. And one of our favorite recipes is taking a fresh portobello mushroom and then adding the smoked hickory or the Gilroy garlic or the teriyaki or the sweet heat, any of the savory ones. Tablespoon inside the mushroom, add your own caramelized onions, caramelized peppers, some sauteed zucchini or squash, and pop that bad boy into the oven at 350 for 35 minutes and put them on a bed of rice and a little bit of the balsamic vinegar over the top, and you eat it like a steak. And oh my gosh, Ethel and I have been making that dish for years. And what balsamic do you want to use? Switch them around. That's the easy part, because we have so many of them. That's a sweet deal. Anyway, that's a recipe that we'll be making for friends when we see them next week. All
Nice.
right, so that's the dipping. The next one is the sweet potato cakes. Now, this is again by Susan Varick, and it's 4 medium-size roasted sweet potatoes that are cooled down, 1/2 to 1 red pepper chopped up, and depending on how big the pepper is, how much you want to use, a small onion chopped, a couple of handfuls of chopped kale, a small jalapeno pepper. I take the seeds out, 1 to 1.5 cups of flour. You can start with 1 cup and then add additional if needed to bind your potatoes together. 1/2 to 1 cup of nutritional yeast. Start with a 1/2 cup, add more as desired, and then drizzle what we're using on this one. Inside the sweet potato is the Spice Traders Curry Balsamic. You have turned me on to this several years ago when you said, "Oh, curry on sweet potatoes. That's just a no-brainer. It's wonderful." And I said, it just doesn't sound appealing to me when you told me about it. Well, when we finally made this dish and actually tried it, I was blown away at how good it was. The savory of the balsamic with the sweetness of the potatoes and the other ingredients in it. I just thought they were fabulous. So the recipe continues. Mash your sweet potatoes and add the other ingredients, form it into a ball, and then flatten them down into the shape of a patty. Fry in a non-skillet until golden or crispy on both sides, and drizzle with your favorite balsamic. And today's balsamic is the curry balsamic. Here's what they look like when they were all done. And
You're going to eat good today, aren't you?
oh, Ethel and I were saying we have a lot to eat in only a couple of days, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. And then we just a little bit of that curry, because there's some curry already in the potatoes to begin with, and then to finish it. So simple to do and 100% delicious. We have all this food from these recipes that we had, but we only have a couple of days to do that. We're driving to Mexico, leaving Wednesday morning. We're going to my niece's wedding in an area that you might be familiar with, the Valle de Guadalupe. Um,
Wow, what are you doing there?
so we're going to attend a wedding. Young Miss Janelle is getting married to Nate, and so we're 5 of us are driving down from Santa Rosa down to San Clemente, where Janelle and my sister Barbara live, and then there'll be 6 cars in a caravan. They're all going to leave from San Clemente and drive over to the border where the city of Tecate is in Mexico, and then it's about an hour south of Tecate to this area. It's a lot of wineries. It's the wine country of Mexico, Valle de Guadalupe. And we're going to be there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and drive home on Sunday. So
Nice. I totally remember that area. I mean, because I go to Rancho El Puerto, still openings if you want to go with me and Dr. Goldhammer in July. And there's a question, are the recipes on your website?
there, yes, all of our recipes are on the website. There are ballpark, we're guessing somewhere near 200 SOS-free recipes from all the broadcasts that we've done, Chef. And many times we would broadcast, say that next month's flavor of the month will be curry balsamic. And people would send in recipes, and we would use 2 or 3 of them on the broadcast. On certain months, we might get 5 or 6 recipes that were submitted, and all the recipes, whether they're used on the broadcast or not, were put on the website. And after years of doing your broadcasts, we've now got near 200 recipes, and almost all of them. There's a handful that are not, but by far the majority of are SOS free.
Nice. And there's a question, how aged are your balsamics?
The balsamic vinegars are generally in the 9 to 10-year-old range. And then, of course, like we were saying before, they're added the grape must, and then bang, out the door. They're rated, the ratings that they have for it are 25 star. Now, doesn't really matter if you don't know what the star rating that they use in Italy, but generally 25 star is one of the highest ratings that they give for balsamic vinegar. And it's based on how thick it is and the sweetness level out there. And so 25 stars is extremely high. If you find a balsamic vinegar that is actually aged 25, 35, 40 years, which they sell that there, it's just, unbelievably expensive. The small little 5 ounce bottle of a 40 or 50-year-old balsamic might be $300, and it was thick as molasses, and takes quite a while to get it out of the bottle, but it's just dramatically thick, rich, and sweet. I personally have never tried anything more than 10 years old. Ethel and I, as soon as we don't have kids, are going to blast off to Modena, Italy, and we're going to go to the actual manufacturer that makes our balsamic vinegar. Turns out one of the employees from the manufacturing facility in Modena, Italy, now works in the California distribution office. And when I spoke with her, she says, if you're going there, I will set up a private tour for you. So we are going to go. Just how soon can we get away? When the kids graduate from high school in a couple of years. So looking forward to that a lot.
Yeah, there's a question. Do we need to add flour to the sweet potato cakes? What if flour is omitted? And can we do it
Well,
in the waffle maker? I have sweet potatoes in the
oh,
waffle maker always are so sticky. I don't like
right.
doing it. Yeah.
So we put in 1 cup of flour, the almond flour, into the sweet potatoes. And I found as I was making a patty, they were still a little bit tacky on my hand. And I wish that I had put in maybe a 1/4 cup more, about 1 1/4 cups. It's hard to when we were doing the sweet potatoes, we used the real small little red ones, and we probably used 10 to 12 in order to get what we thought was, 2 cups of actual potato. We had to use quite a few little ones, and then so generally start with a cup, and if it's tacky in your hands, put them back in the bowl. Add at least another uh, 1/4 cup, a third of a cup of flour, and blend that in so they're not tacky on your hands as you're making them into patties. And almond flour works very well. And that's what we used. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bueno delicious.
Oh, here's a question.
Alrighty.
Wait a second.
Ready?
Daria would like to know, is there an expiration date on the balsamic vinegars once opened? Do they keep longer in the refrigerator once the bottle is opened? And Linda says, I do love the new and improved website.
Wonderful. Now, there is a best buy date on every bottle. So, and that generally goes out, it goes out 2 years from the day it was bottled. We have had customers use them significantly longer, but we're always going to put a best buy date on there to use them up for 2 years. And if you're not using a bottle in 2 years, then you're just generally not using it at
You're
all.
not using it.
That's right. But most people will go through a bottle in anywhere between 4 weeks and 3 months, 4 months, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months is pretty much normal. Some people who are part of the SOS-Free plant-based community will go through 1 to 2 bottles a week because they're using it several times a day. One of our favorite customers lives down in Texas, and she ordered 3 large bottles and got her 2 little samples. I imagine Natalie used it every week for close to 18 months to 2 years. She was ordering every week, every Thursday. And we blasted off to her and she got her flavors, just a couple days later. And on her 100th order, we gladly gave her a complimentary order. So that was, she was very excited to get a complimentary order because she had ordered 100 times.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and we always gave everyone Natalie alert. Natalie's ordered here. Let's get that bad boy out ASAP. And she is one of our favorite customers from Boerne, Texas. So
Nice. Hopefully she's watching.
yes, indeed. Yeah, she's a librarian and we've talked to her dozens of times over the years that she's been ordering, and she still orders to this day. So thank you for being our longest, who ordered the most flavors from us, or most orders from us, Natalie. You've been a true friend. So thank you very much. Okay. back to the action here. Now for desserts, and seeing an absolute gorgeous book right here. We've got a couple of nice recipes out of your book, Chef.
Nice.
And so this is the raspberry balsamic chocolate fudgicles.
Ooh,
And this one was done a couple of years ago. So this particular one is not necessarily from your book, but the other ones are. And this is 2 cups of baked white or orange sweet potatoes. We use the white potatoes. 1/4 to 1/3 cup of raspberry balsamic, 2.5 cups of plant milk, 4 delicate dates, a banana, 1/4 cup of chocolate powder, cocoa powder, 1/2 to 1 cup of fresh or frozen raspberries, and all you do is put everything except for the raspberries in a blender and give it a quick blend. And if you're adding the raspberries, when you add the raspberries, just use a really light pulse just to get them blended, but not completely, dissolved into it. Pour into the popsicle molds or 3-ounce paper cups, and you put the stick in when it's partially frozen and freeze for several hours or overnight. This can be made with any of the California balsamic fruit flavors. There are so many options on there. Here's the cute little fudgicles with a cute little stick out there, and these are truly wonderful. This is a and and Chef, we want to thank you. We made these, and I'll show you the first time we ever made them. We used our little 3-ounce Dixie cups like that. And you said, "Oh, isn't that cute? Oh, this will not do at all." And less than a week later, in the mail is a popsicle mold that you sent us that we are still using to this
I
day.
remember it's just so much easier to get it out of the mold, isn't it?
I absolutely agree because the broadcast that we had when we were doing this, I was trying to tear the paper off, just kind of tear it off and do all that. And as I was tearing that, the popsicle honestly shot across the room because it just popped out, and I went, "Oh, it can fly." Anyway, I just thought that was crazy cute.
That's, well, we're just proving that balsamic vinegar is not just for salads anymore.
Thank you. And that proves it's a wonderful dessert as well. Alrighty then. Oops. All right. So anyway, those
Oh,
are the
here's a
fudgicles.
question. Do you
Yeah.
taste the sweet potatoes in the fudgicles?
I don't say I taste the fudgicle. I feel the grit of the potato when you have that, and to me that's just a creamy texture. So I don't taste the potato. But though I feel the potato in my mouth because of the chocolate and the balsamic in there, that's what I feel. That's what I taste more on that particular one. So does not taste like potatoes. No, and that's good. Let's see. Now, another similar take is the next one, which is your peaches and cream nice cream. That's on page 171 of Sweet Indulgence. And you said to do about 2 cups, 16 ounces of frozen sliced peaches, 2 large ripe bananas, about a cup, a 1/2 cup of unsweetened plant milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla bean powder. Put all the ingredients in a blender and blend it at high speed until it's thick and creamy, and enjoy immediately. And since we put our peach, exactly, and we put a tablespoon of our peach balsamic in there as well. And we found that we had 4 slots that were empty from our mold for the popsicle mold. So we decided just to turn them into popsicles instead of having a bowl of it, because we made these last night and it was easier to do. So that's a version of instead of just having a bowl of nice cream, you can also turn these into popsicles as well, and have them at any time because they last a good long time.
That's a great idea. And you can keep them, they stay pretty fresh, like if you put them like in a Ziploc bag or something.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep. So we'll have these in there, and when the girls come home this afternoon, they'll be munching on these bad boys as well. So that's fun and easy. Okay, that was recipe number 8. And finally, recipe number 9, which is another one from your book, the chocolate fondue on page 128 of Sweet Indulgence, is a cup of peanut butter, sugar-free and salt-free, of course, a cup of date paste, of which we made yesterday, half a cup of cocoa powder, 3/4 to a cup of unsweetened plant milk, and a teaspoon of vanilla bean powder. Put all the ingredients except for the plant milk into the food processor, fitted with the S blade. That really makes a difference. Process until fully incorporated, scraping down the sides of the bowl because there was lots of powder on the sides of the bowl. And slowly drizzle in the plant milk with the motor running a little bit at a time until the desired consistency. Eat immediately or chill for a firmer texture. Now, when you made this, you turned them into the little chocolate truffle balls, right?
Right.
But we put in too much milk in that to do that. It was more of a sauce. So that didn't really work out. So instead, we did a little twist on it. And we put the chocolate fondue over strawberries. And then these 2 strawberries, we had a little bit of nuts that we dipped in there as well. And that was our fondue by using it with strawberries.
That's
And
beautiful. I love what you did.
super simple. So we wanted to make the truffles, but we realized this is not happening. And so what can we do instead? Instead of just showing it in a bowl, Ethel said, "Oh, we've got killer strawberries here. Let's dip them." And then optional nuts on there or not. And so it worked out beautifully. And again, all these things are going to be consumed later today when the girls come home. So, and then talk about the date paste. Oh, so the date paste that you called for, we had some dates, and just good to know. We had some dates that were at least 6, 8 months old, and they were pretty dry. So we got the seeds out of the middle of each one, and then we put in about a cup of the almond milk into the dates and let them sit overnight. And then we gave them a good blend, and they worked out beautifully. We weren't sure if we were going to use them or not because they thought, "Ooh, these are kind of old," but they turned out beautifully. So dates really have an extended shelf life. Have you ever noticed that?
I think so too. And people, if they're worried, they can freeze them. Question, what vinegar did you use in the peach popsicles? It was peach vinegar, right?
It was peach,
Yeah.
exactly.
Makes
We used the
sense.
peach balsamic in there. But again, just to throw a little bit of twist in there, because there was also, peaches in here, you can do a little different balsamic, like the strawberry or the blackberry, even the lemon out there, just to give a more complex flavor. We're constantly uh, asking people, what flavors are you blending together? I mix together sweet heat and the ruby red onion for a little 3 ounce. It's Uncle Tommy's private blend of sweet heat and ruby red onion. Do not use. I put that on my little squeeze bottle in the house here when we're making a vegetable stir fry or the portobello mushroom dish I mentioned earlier. I like to put the combination of sweet heat and ruby red onion on that. That's what I like. And so we asked customers, "What's your favorite combinations?" And we had people write in, and I don't know if it's still on the website, but we had a page that said our favorite combinations and list the person who sent in the suggestion and their favorite flavors, 2 or even 3
You
that
know,
they
sweet heat can go with almost any dark balsamic, and it goes great with smoked hickory
mhm. So true. Yeah.
and
And
teriyaki. Can't go wrong with California balsamic vinegar. Use the link, get 2 free samples with your order. What are you waiting for? It's delicious.
we've always said the secrets in the sauce, and California balsamic is the sauce.
And
And
Tommy Balsamic is the boss. Yeah.
Chef,
So
you are on
come
the
see,
ball.
come see us all in Vegas. So good to see you again, Tommy. I miss seeing you every month.
Thank you, Chef. All is good out here, and you'll see a list of all the other events. We're not doing very many shows this year, But there's about 8 or 9 more shows that we're doing for the rest of the year. They're all on our website on the events page.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tommy. Thanks everybody for watching. Come back Thursday for Kathy Hester. We're going to show you how to make the best and easiest